Hello guys, welcome to Just Vibey Vibes. Welcome. Let's talk about being an emotional giver. Okay, that's so like most people, I want to say most people actually, few people to be an emotional giver, mostly you have to be an empath. Some people do give emotionally at a particular period of time, or maybe because they have feelings for someone, like they are romantically involved with someone, so they give emotional support at that moment, or like so their children or whatever is needed because in a way that is their duty. But to be an emotional giver, whereby you can give to anybody, it doesn't have to be your duty. Mostly it is empaths that do this. So, first of all, how to know you're an empath? If you know the saying that put yourself in someone's shoes, if someone is telling you a story or someone is telling you the situation, is complaining to you, and you can literally see yourself in their shoes, like literally you're in their shoes, you can feel the pain exactly the way they are feeling it, then there's a high chance that you're an empath. Another way to know that you're an empath is this, right? Do you have a story, like something that's happened to you that is like, let's say 10 years ago or a long time ago, and something, not just because it is a long time ago, but something you've actually forgiven and forgot, something that is not important, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, more, it's not something that you're feeling bad about, but then you find yourself that maybe something happens and you're giving an example and then you start telling that story, not because you care about it that much, but just to explain maybe whatever you're saying. And then when you're telling the story, people are like, oh, don't worry, it's okay. They're telling you sorry as if like they're trying to comfort you, as if it's just happening at that moment. Because when an empath tells a story, they go back to that moment. So when they're telling that story, they're telling exactly how they felt at that moment. So for some reason, people might mistake it for that they have not forgiven, or they're not over it, or they're still hurt by it. But they're not understanding that as they're telling that story, they can literally feel it. So that is why it sounds like they are not over it, but they are over it. So if these two things that I've talked about is something that you notice that happens to you all the time, then you're an empath. Okay, so an empath, they can feel someone's pain. They're natural healers. So I would say like an empath has like a positive energy. So that means positive energy normally attracts negative energy. It's kind of like electricity, right? You need the positive and you need the negative, and then when they come together, they form a charge, right? So an empath gives out, I would say, positive energy. It's not that there are no empaths that can give out negative energy if they want to, but that has to be like a wicked empath. But mostly, naturally, empaths are healers. So they attract, so because they are healers, they attract people with sicknesses and diseases. It doesn't mean that literal sickness and diseases. So because it is an energy thing, so because they can feel the pain of someone, so they attract people that are going through things at that moment. So as an empath, one thing I'm going to say is this: remember, you're like a battery. You need to recharge, because when you drain and then you keep going, you might just kill yourself. Like you might become depressed, you might. Empaths also can easily, they are kind of very fragile, but at the same time very strong. So it depends on, like, what path of, what they choose in a way to be. So for an empath, if an empath keeps giving and keep giving and keep giving and keep giving and is not getting nothing back, they might become depressed. An empath is someone, I would say, for an empath, do not watch too much of these bad news things, because you can feel it. Then it kind of is like you feel things deeply, like deeply, more deeply than other people. So, okay, this is what an empath is. And the reason why we're talking about emotional giver, just like we talked about financial giver, if you're an emotional giver, you need to know when to cut someone off that is just like an energy vampire, like someone that just keeps on taking, but they're not even healing. They're not changing whatever it is. They're just continually requesting, like taking from you, taking your positive energies, like you're just giving, but there's no time for you to recuperate because they just keep on taking. You need to know how to work on that. I would say one thing as an empath, or an emotional giver, the first thing you should do is this: choose your friends. Don't let your friends choose you. It is very important. If you let your friends choose you, then you will surround yourself with people that are in need of your positive energy. So in a way, you're just going to be surrounded by negative energy, and you're the only positive energy, because in a way you attract people that have negative, that people that are going through things, because you can heal them, you can give them advice, because you can feel exactly what they're feeling. It might not even be that you even need to give them advice. Have you ever spoken to someone and the person understands? That just makes you feel like, thank you for understanding. But now when you talk to someone that understands, you want to continually talk to that person because that person understands. So imagine you're going through a lot of things. Now you're going to this understanding person. But what you don't understand is that as you keep on talking to this person that understands, you're draining them, because they will keep comforting because they're understanding. But that way they're taking, it's kind of like, I would say it's kind of like this. How, like, like, I don't know, I don't know if this was real, if it was a movie, like when you, like, I don't know, there was a movie or it was real, I can't remember. I saw something whereby, like, someone that claimed to be a man of God, right, tried to heal someone, and then when they healed that person, the sickness actually left the person, but then he went to them. That is kind of like how an empath is. So at that moment where they are taking it from you, is that they are carrying your load and then it's going to them. They need a little bit of time to let it go, to shed it. And as an empath, you need to know when to give yourself. That's why you need more space to yourself. You need more time with yourself. You need to surround yourself with positive vibes. So the reason why I said that you should choose your friends is so that you can choose people that are good for you. So people that have positive, and not people that, obviously you understand your friends too, but people that, that don't have too many baggages, because you don't need that, because the world itself is a lot for you, and you're taking too much, which is almost like you have to be strong. If not, you'll be depressed because you're taking too much. So you need to surround yourself with as much positivity as possible, and you need to make it a point of duty for yourself to surround yourself with a lot of positivity, because you go on the internet, it's more negative than positive. You turn on the news, it's more negative than positive, because negative news fly. People want to know negative more than people want to know positive. So I would say this: you need to find yourself, like, surround yourself with things that make you happy. It's very important. And also, when you're choosing a partner, just the way you choose your friends, don't let your partner choose you. Choose someone you like, someone you yourself are attracted to, not someone that attracts you. Because you would naturally, people will be attracted to you that have a lot of, baggage, just the way friends are. So you might end up attracting people that have too much, too much, like the relationship is in itself is depressing. It's kind of like having someone that you're just helping. It's not financial help, it's just like maybe someone that you need to pick up, maybe someone that is going through a lot of things, someone that is depressed, and then you have to be continually understanding that depressed mood and trying to get them out of that depression or something like that. So it can be a lot. I don't know if I have really explained about empath and being an emotional giver. The reason why we're talking about this today is because just as much as because this channel is mainly to help people, to talk about things so that you watch yourself and you see things about yourself, so that you know how to maneuver this thing called life, and so that way you understand yourself. And so God, when you understand yourself and you know who you are, you don't, not being an empath is not a bad thing, and being an empath is also not a bad thing. But when you're an empath, you feel things deeply. So you have to be careful so that you don't get depressed. So you have to take some time off. Like, you should be someone that, they say, oh, take time off social media. An empath should be someone that actually do take their time and take time off social media. Like, even if it's 30 minutes a day, even if it's 1 hour, just sometimes to just be with yourself, like, focus and shed off all those negative baggage that you have attracted to yourself. Because like now you turn on the news and you see people suffering through, something really bad happening, and you can feel like, like it is, everybody can feel it, but empath feels it so much. That's why they tell people that being empathetic. So when you're a natural empath, you feel a human being in general. If you're human, you should feel someone's pain, but an empath feels it so much. It's like they are experiencing it. It's like they are living it at the moment that it is happening. I would say careers that are good for an empath would make a very good detective, because they can feel stories, they can put themselves in that shoes, so they know, okay, what would you do if this happened, what would you not do if this happened, so they will make a very good detective. But at the same time, I don't know if like being a homicide detective might be good for them, because it might be too much negative, energy coming to them left, right, center. But it might make them feel good when they're able to, to find solution to solve a murder, or something like that, like just help the family to get closure, or whatever the case is, that might be good for them, and it might make them feel better. But I hope this tells you like how to, I don't know if this has been detailed enough for you to understand when you're an empath, and for you to know how to work on it. Okay, one other thing that I want to talk about: as an empath, you need to learn to speak up. Sometimes, like, I understand, because you're an understanding person naturally, so you might keep on understanding, and you're never speaking up for yourself, you never fight for yourself, because you're there understanding. So you need to learn to speak up. As much as you're fragile and strong, enhance your strength. Learn to speak up when you feel bad, because if you keep on, you like, oh, I understand how the person is going. No, understand yourself. Sometimes put yourself, you kind of have to learn to be selfish as an empath. So how you feel, you need to let that out, because as much as how you feel, you can also feel how the other person feels. So there's a chance that empaths normally, they might end up fighting for someone else more than they will fight for themselves. So because they can feel that person's pain and they cannot handle it. So it's kind of like, oh, you're bullying someone. Okay, now me and you, the bully, is gonna be me and you now, because they're gonna buy that trouble, because they can feel the other person's pain. But if it was them that the person is bullying, they would not, because they kind of feel like, oh, I can absorb it. No, you need to learn how to speak up. Don't be understanding. So if you're in a relationship and things are not going well, speak up. If you're in a friendship and you feel like your friend is just bombarding, because you're a shoulder to cry on, because you're a good shoulder to cry on. So most people want to cry on you. So you need to know that, you've been crying. Sometimes tell your friend, say, come, you've been crying about this one thing. How come you've not changed? If you're not changing it, don't talk to me about it again. So that they know that, okay, if they're not going to change it, then there's no need. Don't come to me about it. I don't want to hear about it. I am tired. Because imagine giving someone, like, advising, giving someone this energy, like everything, okay, you can do it, you can be strong, the person is down. Then when the person, like, imagine someone like in a bad relationship, and then let's say abusive relationship, and then they've been brutalized, and you're like, you have the strength, girl, you can do this. You've motivated, talk, and the person is like, yes, and then the person go back again, the person come to you again when something happened. You need to just sit them down and say, see, don't you ever come to me again about this. I have spoken to you. I am tired of talking about this. So whenever you decide what is good for you and you realize that, oh, this is what I want to do, then, but don't come to me again on it. I cannot continually be going through it with you. Because a normal friend advice you would do, things like that. But an empath feels your pain so deeply. So it's like, as you're going through, they are going through it too. So imagine being they are the one in that relation. They can feel it. They can even feel when you talk to them how the person talks to you. Because most abuse is kind of, whether it's emotional abuse, they can feel it. So empaths are quite good. I think it would be a bit difficult for, they might stay in a bad relationship, but they know that it is a bad relationship. Because it might be difficult, to be honest, for someone to to emotionally abuse an empath, just because they can feel that you're emotional. They can feel what you are feeling for emotional abuse. So if they want to get out of it, that's why they need to enhance their strength. They might be staying there just because I want to help him. Let him not be like this. I want to help her. Let her not be like that. Nah, that is not your job. So these are some things. So I hope, to be honest, I really, really hope that I've been able to explain what an empath is and how an empath can get out of, because an empath, you might get stuck in bad situation. You might get depressed because things are too much. And so in order for you to be able to still feel what people are going through, but not take it too personal, like even if it's personal, but know when to get out of it. Give yourself time, have breaks, cut off people. Don't answer phone calls at a particular period if you don't want to. You have to learn as an empath, importantly, to be selfish with your emotions, because your emotion is freely given, like you cannot even help it. So learn how to intentionally be selfish with it. Okay, I hope this helps. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you some other time.